5 import mistakes can turn a promising HVAC fan quote into a costly field problem. The dangerous part is that all 5 can hide behind a good sample, a clean factory video, and a low unit price. This guide shows a buyer-side evidence method: define what must be true, request proof tied to the order, and keep open risks visible until they are closed. It is not customs, tax, legal, or certification advice. Requirements vary by destination, product configuration, and use. Confirm them with the relevant authority, importer of record, customs broker, and qualified advisors. Mistake 1 is buying an airflow headline instead of a defined duty point. Free air volume is not the same as airflow against resistance. A fan selected at the wrong pressure can move too little air, create unwanted noise, overload the drive, or miss the system target even when the catalog number looks impressive. Freeze the real requirement: airflow and pressure together, air density or temperature when relevant, supply voltage and frequency, speed control method, allowable input, acoustic limit, mounting orientation, envelope, connector, environment, and expected life profile. One number is a claim. A duty point plus conditions is a specification. A useful request for quotation pack makes that duty point testable. Ask the supplier to return the proposed model, curve, or verified data covering the operating region, test method, configuration, tolerance, and the exact electrical setup used. Then compare the evidence with the installation. Filters, coils, grills, ducts, heat exchangers, and control logic all move the real operating point. Do not ask only, can this fan deliver the airflow? Ask, at this pressure, voltage, control signal, temperature, and installation condition, what evidence supports the result, and what tolerance applies to production units? Mistake 2 is treating the approved sample as a permanent production specification. A sample can look and run correctly while the purchase order leaves room to change the motor winding, bearing, polymer, impeller, controller, cable, connector, fastener, label, or packaging. A photograph cannot lock those characteristics. Create a released product identity with drawing revision, bill of materials or controlled attribute list, approved model code, critical suppliers or components where necessary, performance limits, label artwork, packaging specification, and reference sample status. The production order must point to that released identity, not to a chat message or an old attachment. Freeze identity before production, then control every change. Your agreement should define which changes require notice, which require written approval, and what evidence must accompany the request. A change record should state the affected part or process, reason, risk, validation plan, samples, effective lot, and traceability. This is not paperwork for its own sake. It prevents a quiet substitution from becoming a field failure months later. At pre-shipment review, sample the order backward from finished units to the released revision, material or component identity, process record, and final acceptance result. Mistake 3 is trusting a mark, certificate, or laboratory photo without verifying scope. A logo can be genuine and still be irrelevant to the destination, product model, factory, standard, or current configuration. A test report can be real and still cover a different voltage, controller, impeller, material, or sample. Build a scope chain, destination and intended use, applicable requirement, issuing or recognizing body, standard and edition, certified or tested model, critical variants, manufacturing site when relevant, status or listing, and the exact production label. If one link is missing, the claim remains open. A visible nameplate or instrument reading is context, not proof. Mistake 4 is comparing unit price while leaving logistics responsibility undefined. The quotation must identify the named delivery place and the selected Incoterm rule, but that is only the starting point. Map who books each leg, loads and unloads, prepares which documents, arranges insurance if required, handles export and import formalities, pays terminal and destination charges, and carries risk at each handoff. Then build a landed risk model with product price, tooling or one-time charges, packing, inland movement, freight, insurance, brokerage, duties and taxes determined for the actual classification, inspections, storage, and a damage or delay reserve. Never copy a duty rate from another shipment. Packaging evidence should answer a damage risk question, not decorate a sales pitch. The approved packing footage shows individual fans separated by corrugated dividers. It does not prove a packaging standard, drop resistance, moisture protection, or arrival condition. Define the shipping mode, stack height, carton and pallet limits, orientation, protection for terminals and moving parts, corrosion or moisture controls when needed, label content, mixed model prevention, and acceptance after transit simulation or a controlled pilot shipment. Warehouse footage can confirm that packed goods exist at a sampled moment, but labels must be protected and the image does not prove quantity, ownership, availability, origin, or ship date. Mistake 5 is waiting until arrival to decide what acceptance means. By then, the buyer may discover that the supplier tested a different feature, sampled too few units, used an unknown method, or recorded only pass. Define the acceptance plan before production, lot identity, sampling rule, critical dimensions and interfaces, electrical checks, functional duty point, noise condition, visual defects, packaging, label and document checks, measuring equipment, limits, raw data, review authority, and disposition of failures. The product close-up in this film shows geometry only. It does not establish material, tolerance, fit, durability, or interchangeability. A useful pre-shipment inspection samples the order against the frozen evidence pack. For a running fan check, record the unit identity, setup, supply, control command, method, instrument identity and status, measured values, acceptance limits, operator, date, and result disposition. The inspection clip shown here is deliberately cropped away from its readable nameplate, instrument readings, and people. It proves only that a fan and an electrical setup were visible. It does not prove calibration, certification, conformity, or production performance. Sample both normal units and exceptions, and trace any failure forward to affected units and backward to its cause. Turn the 5 mistakes into one release gate before balance payment or shipment approval. Gate 1, the duty point and installation conditions are frozen. Gate 2, product identity and revision are released. Gate 3, destination requirements and evidence scope are verified by the responsible parties. Gate 4, logistics responsibilities, packing and landed cost boundaries are written. Gate 5, order-specific inspection, traceability, non-conformance, replacement, spare and warranty response paths are agreed. For each gate, mark evidence as verified, partially verified, open, or not applicable. An open item does not become closed because the schedule is tight. The safest import is not the one with the longest document folder. It is the one where every critical decision points to current, order-specific evidence and every remaining uncertainty has an owner in action. Keep the 5-question check beside your next quotation. What operating point are we buying? What exact revision will be produced? What requirement and scope apply? Who owns each cost and risk handoff? How will this order be accepted and traced? That method protects engineering, cash, schedule, and customer trust without pretending that any single video, label, report, or certificate can do the job alone.